The first class I'd like to show you from the standard library, very useful, vector. And by the way, all of these classes that I'm showing you from the standard library, their names start with lowercase letters. So even when I'm putting them in the title, I want you to remember lowercase v on vector. And this is just for carrying around a collection of things, keeping track of a whole bunch of integers or insurance policies or whatever. It's a nice dynamic collection. As you add more items, it will resize itself automatically. Now, you should know that there can be a downside in that the resizing can involve copying. So if you have a collection that's currently got room for 5, let's say integers, and you need to put more in, will resize itself to some number larger than 5, and then copy the 5 items over into the new larger vector that has room at the end, and then clean up the old ones. So if what you're putting into the vector is something whose constructor or destructor is really expensive computationally, there can be a cost involved in using a vector. A couple ways around that. You can pre-allocate the vector to be as big as you know you're going to need to be. You can also keep pointers, or better still, a smart pointer like a shared or unique pointer in your vector. Copying pointers is really cheap, and it doesn't destruct and then reconstruct the objects again the way that it would if you were copying solid objects around. Vector is, of course, strongly typed. If you have a vector of integers, you can't put an insurance policy into it, and vice versa, and that's through templates. You therefore make a vector of whatever it is. You can go through a vector using iterators, a super powerful standard library concept that I'll show you in the demo, or just use square brackets as though it were a built-in C++ array and simply index into it with the square brackets. So it's very convenient and easy to use, and very, therefore, popular among people who need to quickly carry around a collection of thingies. In order to use vector, you need to include the vector header, and of course, it's in the std namespace. Everything in the standard library that I'm showing you at this point is in the std namespace.